Hello and welcome to the Bridetender podcast. I'm your host, Estee Levin, and I'm here to tend to the brides like I tend to the bar. So mix yourself a cocktail and let's get ready to discuss all things weddings. Today, I'm so excited to be here with Victoria from Victoria Elizabeth, The Sweet Experience, and we're going to talk about everything that she has going on, which there's a lot of things. So there's a lot for us to unpack. So first, I want to say thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for hosting me in your amazing suite. I've been dying to come see this place, and it is everything that I've seen in the photos and more.
Is it better here in person?
It's better in person. It's huge. People need to come here and see it. Every time I saw the photos, I was like, oh my God, like this place is awesome. Like it's just, but you can't even tell how big it is, the photos and the videos. And then you come in and you're like, why would anybody want to get ready for their wedding anywhere else if this place is
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So first, I want to kind of ask you, how did the suite come together? Like, where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so, I mean, some of these stories I'm about to tell you are going to be crazy, but that's my life. It's crazy and unplanned. I was at the Larkfield one day doing a bride, and I'm from this area, but I never really went down Larkfield Road. And one day I pulled into a little storefront to text somebody. And I look up and I'm like, what is this place? Because at this point in my career, I was trying to transition from studio to something bigger. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I'm like, and then I started looking through the windows and I'm like, oh my God, this needs a lot of work. I'm like, I don't think this would be the right fit, but let me call the landlord. So I called the landlord, very broken English, couldn't really understand her. And I was like, listen, I could offer you this amount of money. She was like, no. We want, a crazy number. And I was like, okay. I'm like, no, that's not in our budget, but I appreciate you speaking with me, have a nice life. So, I waited on it, and I just kept looking. And my second thing was I was going to go to Babylon Village because everyone was popping up in Babylon Village.
Yeah.
Like, let me see, maybe that's. And I almost put down a huge deposit on a storefront there. And not a lot of people know that. And I had the blueprints all made, and the landlord here calls me when I was about to sign. And she goes, Victoria, I've been thinking about you. I have her accent down. So she's like, Victoria, I think about your number, and we're gonna take your number. And I was like, what? I'm like, can you just repeat that? I'm like, and she repeated it because it was very, I could barely understand her, and I'm like, I couldn't grasp. I'm like, is she saying she's accepting it? Like, because that's the store I wanted. I wanted that store because it was across the street from the Larkfield.
Yeah.
And the Water's Edge wasn't even a thing yet.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's
I
very
really just wanted to be a part of the Larkfield. And then I got it, and we did a complete renovation from soup to nuts, redid everything. And I have to tell you this because this is where the story gets a little crazy. Before I signed the lease with her, my father, who was a big Italian, 6'8" man, came with his pinky rings, and he's like, when you sign this lease, you make sure you have an option to buy it at the end, because we had to put at least $150,000 into renovating it.
Yeah.
So she agreed to that. She says, I'm going to give it to you. And we signed, and I was there for 3 years. And I'll let you, now we're here, so the story gets better, but I don't know if you want to ask more questions.
No, keep going. I like this story.
So we did all the renovations. Now I'm talking about the plumbing exploded twice on Christmas Day. On New Year's Eve, it exploded for the second time. And I'm not talking exploded like the toilet overflow. I'm talking about the pipes bursting.
Oh my God.
I'm talking about the ceiling collapsing, where we had to get a pool for kids that was the size of this bar in the back as it poured water No one knows this. And I couldn't tell people because I didn't want them to get nervous.
Yeah.
But flooded the whole store. The heating broke. The heater needed to be completely replaced. The air conditioning in the summer, splat, didn't work.
This reminds me of when I moved into my apartment. It was like after I signed, like I bought it. So after I had the mortgage, like the AC no longer worked. And I was like, did I just buy a closet? Like,
you've been bamboozled. I literally was like, I don't have the money to do this. This is way more than I bargained for. And now we're approaching a pandemic where they're shutting us down. So I was like, I just threw my hands up to God. And I was like, listen, you take the wheel because I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do. And I would go home and I remember crying, like shaking, doubled over. Because you have to realize, like, this is my life. This is everything I built. I didn't get married. I didn't go to college. I didn't do the things that normal people did. I built my business. And now it's just, this is it. I didn't deserve this. This was what was given to me. And no one helped. And I had to get real clever about what to do. And I started, this is the best part. Emma Barkfield probably will watch this. When I moved in, they wanted nothing to do with us.
No.
They wanted nothing. This is where it gets crazy. They wanted nothing to do with us. And I was devastated because I'm like, I built this. I renovated it. Everything's breaking. The Larkfield wants nothing to do with us. I'm like, what did I do? I remember, and I'm going to get emotional. I remember saying to my employees, I'm so sorry I let you down.
Oh, no.
And it's so sad because at the time you think like it's over.
Yeah.
You know, and if you could just see yourself forward, if you could change your perspective and see greatness, it changes your life. So I started to, and with the help of, not financially, but with the help of my parents and my support system, they were like, you built this, you didn't build this for money, you built it because of the vision you had. Continue with the vision. Go with the vision. Go with what your heart is saying. Don't go by what it looks like. And I was like, well, that's easier said than done, Yeah. And I just kept following my heart. And when you follow your heart, you get really clever. You do. You come up with ideas, and we started to hit great things where people started booking. The Larkfield came in. They were like, this is great. We want to work with you. And things I never thought would happen started happening. And I was like, oh my God, we're gonna come out of this. Yeah. And then at the end of the lease, she wouldn't give me the option to buy it.
After all that.
She said no. And she goes, I'll take you to court. I was in court with her for a year. Thousands of dollars. Thousands. And one day I was walking down the street of Larkfield. From the building that I was, you could see it from where I am now. I look at it every day. And I was just taking a walk, trying to clear my head, and I saw this building. This building was 4 times the rent of that building. This was the main branch for Capital One. And I called the landlord and I said, can I see it? They were like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm in the area and I do a bridal business. Oh, okay. Nicest man, Ed Gottlieb. He was the reason why we were in this building. He showed it to me and he's like, do you have the money for this? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we have it. And I'm like, Ed, I'm going to be honest with you. I got a different thought process with this whole thing. I might turn it into like a wedding one-stop shop. And he's like, that's very smart. And he called the landlord and he started fighting for me to have it. And he said, Ed, I appreciate it, but, the girl sounds great, but we're going to go with the Wells Fargo. They're a better credit tenant. And they want to sign like a 20-year lease. And I was like, Now I'm stuck with all these contracts from this other building because I promised brides they would have a suite to get ready in. And this was our only option because brides wanted directly across the street. So I was like, Ed, I never took kindly to the word no. So do you think you could get me an interview with these guys? Can I talk to them? And he was like, Victoria, I love you. Like, yeah. And I'm like, this guy like loves me. Like he just loved me. And he was like, he got me an interview with these guys that own this shopping center, own a lot of things. Like this is a very little property to them. And I had a meeting with the partners, 5 of them. And I said, listen, I'm not Wells Fargo, but I will sign a 20-year lease.
Wow.
Yeah, I said, I'll be here forever. I will renovate your building. I said, we're going to put $300,000 into it. Did I have $300,000? I just said it.
Yeah.
Something in me was saying, just say it. And they were like, all right, well, if you do that, you have it. And I'm like, oh, God. And I remember shaking, signing that paper. Because I was like, I just promised the next 20 years of my life with $300,000 on top of it. This was a fire. This was completely gutted fire. Like the walls, the ceilings, nothing was here. I had to have an architect come in and draw it and tell them specifically what I wanted. And when I signed it, I didn't have the money. And then we started booking like crazy. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because people saw the promise of what was to come, and the Larkfield saw it as well. And we ended up just working our butts off, but we renovated this place top to bottom, and we spent under what I promised, but they thought I spent over what I promised. So I found a very good contractor that liked me and was like, you remind me of myself when I was a kid. And I'm gonna do a great job for you. And he gave me a good price. Now it wasn't that much under, but it was affordable.
Yeah.
And here we are. And that's our story. And we're gonna do a second location.
You're gonna do a second location?
We're gonna do a second location.
Oh my God, where are you thinking? Are you allowed to say?
I'll say this. I haven't decided.
What about Nassau?
Possibly. But what I'm looking into is Jersey.
Okay. That's smart.
Miami.
Oh, you're thinking like really outside of tri-state area.
Mm-hmm. Or this is where people are like, huh? Close to where I am.
Really?
Because we're having overflow.
This way you can still service the same clientele in the same location, but you don't have to take away from the business you're in now.
Right.
That's hard too.
Yeah, there are a lot of ideas I play with, and by the end of 2024, we'll have a second one. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got to make this decision.
Yeah, but you're good at making quick decisions.
I am very good. That is one thing about me.
Wait, what's your sign? When's your birthday?
I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, we're like lions, Leo. Capricorn, I don't know too much about Capricorn.
Capricorns are just very they're like full steam ahead. Like when they say they're going to do something, it's like done.
What month is that?
January.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
My father's an Aquarius, so you're early January?
I'm actually the very end. I'm January 18th.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah, but I'm like the last day of Capricorn.
Oh,
like the next day is like Aquarius. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You got to take the faith. You got to have faith when you're a business owner. You have to have faith.
So usually I ask this more towards the end, but I feel like it has something to do with right now. Like, what advice do you have for like people who want to take the leap, and just maybe don't have the balls to do it?
Honestly, the word of advice I would give to people is and I feel like this is the generation we're in where they think it just comes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. And you might hear my story and be like, Victoria, that just came. You know, it sounds like you just hit a bunch of luck. No,
you worked hard for that. Like,
I sacrificed everything, poured my heart, my finances, my time. The most valuable thing you have in life is time. The amount of time I put into this business. Most people don't want to do that. In their heart of hearts, they don't want to. So that's what separates the owner from the worker.
Right.
So if you don't want to put that in, don't own a business.
Yeah.
Just don't, because you're going to do yourself a disservice. I had to come to terms many times, about 3 times in my life, where I had to say, do I want to get married and have children, or do I want this business? That's a big...
It's a bit, yeah.
And I've had to break up with relationships. They didn't work because that partner didn't see that in me. They wanted me to be home cooking dinner. And that's a fair thing, you know, that they want to go out and work, and, you know, they
want somebody at home. Yeah.
Wasn't for me.
Yeah. Well, I think we also live in like a generation now very different than like our parents and our grandparents, where women, you know, they might be married and have families, but they're also career women because they were career women first.
Yes.
And I think like a lot of people even still like have to like get with the times on that, that like, you know, women still want to like run their own business and do their own thing. And I think sometimes it's hard to like figure out the balance. I'm someone who's not like there yet myself. So it's, I don't even know if I could speak on that, but I think in like the area that we live in is like people need to be, you know, open and accepting that like women are doing it all.
They are.
And
they're doing it exceptionally.
Yes.
And I'm not like a feminist by any means. I'm just going to be
same.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I do feel very strongly in purpose. I'm a purpose-driven person. So if I feel in my heart I have a purpose, I don't care who gets in my way, you will be stopped. Because I'm living for my purpose, and my purpose is bigger than your ideology.
I like that.
Yeah. That's, you gotta, you know, and you gotta believe it, you know, because you know how many people I probably helped in my life?
I just from knowing you this very little bit, I could only imagine.
Yeah. And that makes me want to go even more.
Yeah.
And I would say that to you too. It's like your whole thing here is going to help so many people. And that's what should drive a business owner.
Yeah. I think it's also, we live in like such times where like, if you want something, I believe that you can have it. It's just a matter of the work that you're willing to put in. And like you said, the time. People are starting these businesses, doing all these things, TikTok, and it's all like started on TikTok, Instagram, all that. I always say I'm like, I need like a young intern to like help me do all that, because like I feel like I'm like the old one now. I thought I was like so young, but I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, I need somebody who's like, hey, can you do this TikTok for me? Like, how do we like gain traction? I don't fucking know. I'm like, I could post something, think it's like amazing, gonna be a hit. Total flop. I post something that's like nothing, every single person likes it. I'm like, I don't understand.
So funny.
It's an algorithm that I really just think at this point I'm not gonna learn.
It's not in our age bracket.
It's not. I'm 31, but I'm like, I need somebody like 21 who's like hanging out with me and being like, hey, can you show me what to do here?
I totally get it.
Be like, do you think this is funny? Like, is this relatable? I'm like, that's so relatable. It's like, no, it's not. I'm like, it's not. I'm like, oh, okay. But I think like the business that you've built and like the relationships that you have speak so many volumes. And I also want you to touch on the business that you have doing like boudoir shoots over here as well, because I think this studio, not only are you able to utilize it for weddings, but you're able to utilize it, you know, even during the week for people who want to come and get services done that maybe aren't. I know we tend to the brides over here, but other than just weddings, you know, it's nice to have like clientele that get things done weekly or monthly or anything, things like that. And then you have this other business of the boudoir shoots, which I think is so unique. And not everybody does that, but most people don't have a place to do that.
Sure.
Where they would feel comfortable.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do, you know, so the bridal boudoir business was such a unique idea that Heather actually and I joined forces. Heather is a photographer. She owns Never There Yet. And she and I got together and we came up with the idea of like boudoir is done and has been done in such, and forgive me for saying this, but I really don't know how to make it sound better, but in a trashy way. And it's been like very sexualized and not really bridal. And brides are the ones doing it for their husbands.
Right.
And, you know, I said to Heather, I said, you know, I see things online posted and, you know, what do you think if we kind of like made it more elegant? Like, this is the woman that they are marrying and this is how they like the most beautiful that they'll look in their lives, you know, and they're giving themselves to someone else. Like, I see it in a different way. And she's like, Victoria, she started crying. She goes, I've felt the same way my whole life. And I actually made a business, Many Crowns Boudoir. And when you said that to me, I just have a witness about it. Like, this is, yes. And I said, I'm building this place, Heather. I'm like, and I showed her every step of the way I showed Heather, even down to the design, because I designed this whole place. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? I love that. I love this. And I said, okay, just start to imagine the brides in here and how they're going to pose and where you would put them. And she's like, Victoria, every single corner is perfect. And you have to see some of these photos we do in here. They're absolutely... She doesn't even post that. She's like, Heather, I think we're all scared that it's just going to blow up. But she's starting to. But we have some amazing footage from here. And I think I think it's going to be a very big thing once we start
Absolutely
broadcasting it more.
Because also, and I mean, I have spoken about this with Heather before. It's like all you have from experiences are the photos.
Yeah.
So to even be able to give people the opportunity here to do something so personal and like so private that they'll be able to take home with them.
Yes.
I mean, it's just memories like that you can't replace, you know? So, and I feel like I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, but you're a really big part of somebody's like story of their wedding day, because it's all starting here.
Yes.
It's starting here with them getting ready. And that's like the time for a bride where she feels so beautiful, so fun, like having time with her friends and her mom, and just like, it's a one-time feeling. It really is.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. And it's a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yeah. And you having this place, you get that bride to like come back multiple times, because they'll come back for other services. They'll come back to get ready for another wedding, and then they'll come and they could come and do shoots here, like with you and with Heather.
The other big thing we're doing is spa parties.
Oh, so that's cool.
We have
I like
massage person, a facialist, spa, manicure and pedicures. Nice. So the brides are starting to do, it's so funny, I have to get back to Valerie. Valerie, if you watch this, she wants to have 25 women in here for the whole day.
That's nice.
You know, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and they could just spend the whole day here and have a whole big spa day. And we do the catered lunch.
Oh, that's so nice.
And she's like, you know, a lot of people can't travel for the bachelorette, and I want to do something home with them. And I thought, you know, it's a lot of people, but I'm like, let's do it.
It's a lot of people, but you got the space there. I mean, this space is so beautiful, and we're going to showcase it on the video, but I mean, just like with the couches and that you have like private dressing areas, so if anybody doesn't feel comfortable to like just get dressed with everybody around, they can like go in there and get dressed. And then I'm just obsessed with this whole big bar. Like, I feel like I could like easily just sit here and have a cocktail. Like,
What else didn't do?
I'm like, that's just a dream. Like, I feel like I want to like live here.
Yeah.
Like,
Aw, we want you to live here. I always told people, I said, I want to make this place so they stay.
yeah.
And not just for the trial, like they want to hang out.
Yeah.
And that's
I think like you like a lot of like how you're saying the spa parties, like I could see you doing like night parties here. Like kind of like what you were saying, but more at night. Like I could see it happening, like, you know, you do like a Thursday night, like once a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean,
Not that I need to give you more ideas. You have plenty on your plate.
No, I really appreciate it because I want to hear what people think when they come in. You know, what feeling do you get? And that's, you know, someone had their 30th birthday party here, and it was so much fun. Like we put the DJ in the corner.
That's
like
awesome. Yeah.
And we were just
We're basically making this place a venue.
yeah.
Like
I know. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think this would become a venue, but it's slowly becoming a venue.
we're doing rehearsals in here. We're like doing it all.
Yeah, we're doing it all. After party, after the lark events, you come to
After wedding, you come here. You start the day here and you end the day here.
Oh my God, that's a slogan.
I'm telling you, we're thinking out of the box, but there's so many things you could do.
The wheels are now turning.
My husband is always like, it's funny, he doesn't work in this industry at all. He works in like the construction field, but I always say, I go to him with these like ideas and he's like, but we could like open a venue. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like
I'm like, do you realize like it's just like a lot more than just finding a space? Like, I'm like, there's so much more that goes into it. He's like, yeah, but like that's what you'll do. And I'm like, I know, but
yeah, that's what I want.
I'm like, let's get the ideas on paper.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't want a venue. This just fell into like.
It was God's plan.
It was
God's plan.
Literally. In great words. It was
God's plan. That's what I always say. I'm like, anytime I'm feeling so stressed, which you know is kind of like all the time, right? Yeah. And then I sit there, I'm just like, I don't know why I'm freaking out. Like God always sees me through. Like we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. No, He really does. I mean, that is the hand that's been over this business since day one, and you know, I can't tell people that because not everyone believes that. But that's what I'm going to tell people.
Yeah.
Because that's what I believe.
That's what you believe. And with everything like aside, I mean, that and the hard work.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's just what it is. You put in the time, you put in the hard work, and you believe in a higher power that they're going to just watch over you and make sure that everything is okay.
Yeah. You know, I didn't go to Vegas and roll the dice and win money.
You know? I know if I rolled the dice, I would win shit.
Yeah, but that's what they go, well, you know, if I could just do this and win this you got to work.
Yeah. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of early mornings. And like, that's what people like, especially in this business.
Yeah.
It's a lot of early mornings. It's a lot of late nights. It's all weekend.
It's all,
it's holidays.
It's holidays. It's, you know, and the biggest part of it is your team.
Yeah.
You got to have a good team. You know, people, they don't think these things through, you know.
And your team, it looks like, has grown a lot, like, over the past couple of years.
And that's, you know, it's glorified babysitting because, you know, it's literally mentoring the younger generation to come up and know how to work, where in society today, that's not really a thing.
No.
In all honesty, it's
no. When I was growing up, like I had like a lot of different jobs, and like I see a lot of people now, not even just more so now. Even when I was in high school, like no one like had a job, like, and I was like, not only did I have a job, I had like two while like I was in school, like and it was more so that my parents just wanted me to like know what responsibility is, and I have to say, like having a job at a young age formed so much of who I am today, and gave me the confidence to like walk into a room and completely own it.
Yeah.
Where if I didn't do that at 14, I don't know if in my 20s or now 30s, I would have felt as comfortable.
Right. I can't even get the younger generation to answer a phone. They're afraid of the phone because it was all text.
It's all texting.
I
and
don't even fault them for it.
Yeah.
It's like you were trained to text. You were trained to email.
Yeah.
But when you work, you have to be able to answer a phone.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's little things, but it's having the patience to do it.
Yeah.
And understanding where people come from, and
we're gonna lean on them for the social media.
That's it. And I'll answer the phone.
Oh my God. Well, Victoria, it has been so fun to have you on the podcast. I feel like I could talk to you forever, and I will. I will. Off camera, I'm going to. I have so many thoughts, but I'll save them for off camera. But I want to wish you the best of luck with everything, even though I don't think you need it because you got God on your side and everything is really like looking so beautiful here. And I can't wait to see the second location when you open it, whether it's Miami, Long Island, Jersey, out there. I'm coming. If it's Miami, sign me up. Get me on that plane. I'm there.
Love it. I love it.
Tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can check you out.
So we are Victoria Elizabeth Official on Instagram. The Instagram, I go live a lot of the time. So if you want to see me more often, if you don't follow. No. But, our Instagram is awesome, Victoria Elizabeth Official, and our website is victoriaelizabethofficial.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode of the Bridetender podcast, where you can watch this episode on YouTube, on Spotify, and you can check it out on every streaming platform. Make sure to go follow Victoria at Victoria Elizabeth Official. Check out her studio. Check out this video. Let us know what you think. If you're not already following me, please go follow me at The Bridetender for all fun facts on the wedding industry, ways to save money on your special day, and of course, hiring the best in the business for your wedding. Until next week, mix yourself a cocktail, slide into my DMs with questions you want answered on all things weddings. Stay sane, stay healthy, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.